Wildlife photographer and naturalist Shawn Miller specializes in capturing the flora and fauna of Okinawa, Japan. Equally at home on land and underwater, Shawn has documented rare and endemic species from birds and reptiles to nudibranches and shells. Shawn specializes in creating motion in still photographs, fluorescence photography, environmental awareness, and the protection of endangered species. Shawn is a long-term resident of Okinawa whose purpose of achievement drives him to get that once-in-a-lifetime photograph of never-before-seen animal behavior. His work has been featured in the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, National Geographic, World Wildlife Fund, and Blue Planet 2. He is best known for his powerful project, Crabs with Beach Trash Homes. Cinezona milleri, Hemilianaria shawnmilleri, and Calliostoma shawni are species named after the wildlife photographer and naturalist Shawn Miller for his continued support in malacological research. Learn more about the beautiful animals of the Ryukyu Islands and Shawn Miller's work at Okinawa Nature Photography. Please welcome Shawn Miller.
The Plight of the Blueberry Hermit Crab by Shawn Miller. Greetings from Okinawa, Japan. In 2014, I started finding many hermit crabs adapting with plastic. So I decided to start the project, Crabs with Beach Trash Homes. I even had friends and family searching for them as well. I was highly motivated to document as many as possible. I spent most of the time documenting the hermit crabs on beaches with an abundance of trash. The more trash on the shore, the more crabs I seemed to find adapting with their waste. Most of the common items washed ashore were single-use items, such as styrofoam, medicine, prescriptions, twist-top caps, glass bottles, plastic bags, forks, spoons, combs, lighters, razors, flip-flops, and rope. This is becoming a common sight on our beaches here in Okinawa. I photographed the crabs in their natural habitat, and also on a white portable studio board for the Meet Your Neighbors project, which is dedicated to connecting people worldwide with the wildlife in their community. And this technique stood out, since it focused on the animal and plastic with no other distractions. I photographed them up close to show the detail of the animal using a macro lens. Hermit crabs are like the caretakers of the shoreline. They keep our shorelines clean, feeding on the marine life that wash ashore. They also feed on a variety of fruit and help out with seed dispersal. They also help aerate and fertilize the soil of the coastal forest. Favorite foods: screw pines, coconuts, plant bark, beach, flowers, and waxy substances that wash ashore. In Okinawa, the hermit crabs have few natural predators: birds, ants, other crabs, and of course humans. Biggest threat: habitat loss and over-collecting from the pet trade. The hermit crabs in Okinawa are listed as protected species, but people continue to take them. Hermit crabs use a variety of seashells to protect their sensitive abdomen. If no shell is available, they will use a seed and even our waste. Some of the most interesting man-made items that I have found the hermit crabs adapting with: light bulb ends, glass bottles, food scoops, and laundry detergent caps. Why do these crabs adapt with their plastic in the first place? Is there a limited number of shells on our beaches due to over-collecting? Yes, that's possible. What we do know, they molt, they grow, they get bigger, and eventually need to replace their current mobile home. Crabs fight over the shells constantly, in search of a perfect real estate. With enough persistence and bullying, eventually the weak will abandon their home in hope of finding another shell quickly. If they cannot find a shell, they will adapt with plastic. They do not prefer plastic homes, they are just making do until they find a better option. Something I learned recently is that hermit crabs have the ability to modify shells over time. The ability to hollow out the inner lip to make it roomier. This is an example of a modified shell passed down from generations. In 2020, Tony Choi recommended that I place empty shells on our beaches. He explained that Taiwan had the same issue with shell overcollecting. Tony was kind enough to send me the first shell donation, and after that more people started making contributions. So I engraved the name Miller and a number on the shell, document the date and the location in my logbook. Hopefully labeling the shells will prevent beachcombers and fishermen from taking them. Every hermit crab adapting with their waste receives a proper shell home. First, I photograph the hermit crab in its natural habitat. Then the hermit crab is placed into a beach bucket with a variety of shells and makes the switch on its own. The process takes anywhere from 5 minutes to 24 hours depending on the shell preference. Last, I take a before and after photograph with a black background. Then I release the hermit crab back into the wild. They get a better home, and I keep the trash. Here is my mobile home display. As you can see, I am starting to get a nice collection going. So how many times have you picked up an empty shell and brought it home? I'm definitely guilty. Most people don't realize that they are taking a potential home of a hermit crab. If you are a shell collector, please return all unwanted shells back to the coastline. That's the best thing you can do. And last, I would like to share with you one of my favorite photographs taken on Okinawa, Japan. Arigatou gozaimasu.